Hey, we are almost live? Are we live? I think we're close to being live. And I'm sorry this is taking so extremely long. But it says we are live, and this should be public. Finally. If anyone's out there, I'm sorry for disappointing you. And hopefully, let's tweet this out. Oh, I can hear myself. That sounds live. They're almost live. Oh, I'm loud on there too. I'm sorry. I had all sorts of problems starting this, so I apologize for everybody who, if you were waiting or anything like that, that wasn't cool of me. I'm sort of learning this as I go, as I've said many, many times. But, hey, I finally made it to one. Hey, Cornbread, how are you doing? Alright, so I tweeted that out, and now I'm going to take down this image because it's me, Mario. Okay, sorry. So let's set this all up. You're live. I am live. Can you all hear me well? All that good stuff. I'm in a different background. This is the other room. Sorry about the Juana Man review. It's taken a while. But this is the third episode of Movie Crap. Finally. Yes, this is the other room. I shot the Invader Zim video in here. Other people live in my apartment, so sometimes... sometimes I need to shoot in other rooms. That's what's going on. Anyway, it's been a bit of a stressful situation getting this up, and I'm not sure. I hope this saves and everything like that. And I should start recording it. Anyway, hi. This is Movie Crap. This is the third episode. I don't have as much to go through movie news-wise as last time when I had, a ton of news. I had like 5 pages of notes. This is not as much news this time, but there's a lot of cool stuff, including the Primal trailer, the Joker trailer, the Rise of Skywalker footage, Weather With You, Disney Plus news, all sorts of stuff. I'm going to talk about what I thought the best movies of the summer were based on the few I got to see. And yeah, so sorry, by the way, anyone who was here at 10. It was a technical issue. I thought today would go smoother, but it didn't. So, oh well. Anyway, let's do this. And I'm going to have a Red Bull because I was trying and blah. Thank you for appreciating my black shirt, and I'm doing well too. Thank you, Cornbread. Thank you, everyone who is here in the live chat and here this Labor Day weekend chilling with me. That's super fucking cool of you. Sorry. Normally I will... well, it depends. I'll switch on and off. We'll see. But we're all here. We're all live. Let's get to it. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is the Primal trailer. This is a limited series that's going to be on 5 nights on Adult Swim from Genndy Tartakovsky, and it looks absolutely amazing. It probably looks like the most cinematic trailer I saw this week, and there are some pretty major trailers this week. I wish this was playing at a theater. It shows what Genndy can do with a canvas if you just let him go. I know Samurai Jack wasn't the most favorite thing in the world, but I really was into this trailer. I absolutely loved it. I would love to see just the trailer on the big screen. That would be amazing. But it's going to be on Adult Swim. It's going to be in October, and if I didn't say before, I am going to do a review of it because I am frankly hyped. I think it is going to be probably up there with Infinity Train, hopefully, which sets the bar pretty high. I like what Adult Swim's doing with these mini-series because, a big animation creator can probably, much like how big movie stars will do like a mini-series nowadays, you could have a big animation creator be like, hey, I know you're doing movies and stuff, but would you mind doing like this mini-series? And I think that sort of works out. But anyway, Primal for me is the event of the fall, really. But now I guess we should talk about the trailer that everyone was hyped for, which was the Joker trailer. The Joker played at Telluride today, got the first reviews, everyone's glowing about it. To me, the trailer was very effective and very much affected me. Sorry. I think it gets you because a lot of people were downplaying kind of the incelness of it, which I think is definitely there. But and this is definitely more falling down than Taxi Driver, I would say. but I really liked what how it really like played into how you feel like how when you feel like you're not being listened to, how you feel like the world's against you. It plays onto that like kind of primary emotion. And I notice people who normally don't react to trailers are really reacting to it and really excited by it. I'm excited for this. I think this was the best trailer. This is a great trailer. I understand why they debuted it, because one, they had Telluride this weekend, so they wanted a hot trailer to like bounce off that, and two, It Chapter 2, which is a big movie for Warner Brothers, opens this weekend. I don't know what uzumaki is, cornbread, so I don't know if I'll talk about that necessarily. But sorry, did it tweet out? Did the movie crap thing tweet out? I hope so. I don't see it. But anyway, sorry about that. I think that Joker trailer is going to be pretty phenomenal. Alright, back to this. Or the Joker movie. I don't know. I think it would probably borrow from the Killing Joke comic, which Captain Cosmic just asked me. I think that's probably a no-brainer there. So, what's next? Okay, so the Rise of Skywalker sort of trailer. It was just like, hey, we have D23 footage. I honestly, I felt like I watched half a trailer. It's like, I don't really need Star Wars summarized for me. All of pop culture summarizes Star Wars all the time. So it was like, that was kind of dumb, frankly. But once you scroll through YouTube to be like, yeah, I don't need the prequel summed up. Let's just keep going. Once you get past all that, you get to the Rise of Skywalker trailer, which was cool. I don't think Rey is going to be Dark Rey. I noticed everyone who ever cosplayed as Rey was like, haha, I knew she was going to be Dark Rey and stuff, but I don't think that was really that crazy of an idea. I just think she's being like what Luke was in Return of the Jedi. So basically, yeah, that's what she's going to be. She's going to be more of a Jedi Master. She'll be wearing some black. She might look like she might possibly go to dark, but much like Luke did in Return of the Jedi. She probably won't. I like the Swiss Army knife lightsaber. I noticed the CG error apparently in the water when Kylo Ren's fighting her with his cape. The cape's not in the water in the shot, which a lot of people commented on. The thing with trailers is often with trailers they don't like fully finish the CG. So oftentimes the shot you see in the movie will be far more finished than the shot you saw in the trailer. They're still working on it. So things like that are bound to happen, but it was interesting you saw that. And I don't think it like grabbed people. I mean, obviously this is like the third trailer thing in here. And I noticed like Joker and Primal for me just stole the whole week, but I think that really it was a good trailer, but I still think they need that trailer that makes you go like, oh man, that's gonna be the trailer right now. That like I have to see this movie, and I feel like they're still banking on this is episode 9, and I kind of want them to do a little better than that. Red Bull money for Jim. Thank you. I'll drink a Red Bull to that. That's very nice of you. I love you. You're awesome. You're very supportive. I have a good fan base, I will say. So this next one is huge animation news. And if you've ever complained about the best animated feature category, I will say the best foreign language film category, or best international film as it's been redubbed, is probably worse, because basically every country gets to pick a movie, and if you think, depending on how you feel about the US government or any country's government, they get to pick it is not the greatest thing in the world. It's not a great situation. But Japan, for the first time since Princess Mononoke, is going to be submitting Weathering with You, which is the new film from the director of Your Name. I think they're also going to try to go for a release for a best animated feature. G-Kids is going to do kind of like a one-night thing again, which I hate those things. I sort of wish they would actually do a real limited release. But the fact that Japan is doing that shows the Academy that they're taking it very seriously. Princess Mononoke obviously couldn't be nominated for Best Animated Feature because that category didn't exist. But since they're pushing it so much with another like voting block, that might help. It might not, but it makes animators go, oh, this is a big deal. I think animators are already like, this is a big deal. But I think for animation, that is a huge deal. It shows people in Japan in particular, which already takes the medium more seriously, go like, we're going to take the medium more seriously by actually saying we will by actually saying this is our movie of this year. I think shows a big push for that, and I think it'll make Weathering with You being taken even more seriously. I know Your Name didn't get the greatest release. I'm hoping G-Kids will do a little better with Weathering with You and not just do a one-night stupid thing or a two-night stupid thing. Just actually give it a limited release. I think it deserves that. And I also think Your Name should have gotten that. All right, so let's talk about, there's still like D23 had too much info, so you're going to see a lot of catch up from that. You've noticed a lot if you watch or movie podcasts and anything like that, you'll see them still covering stories because it was just such an info dump. I think a lot of people were like, oh, we didn't cover that fully. But Disney Plus apparently, first off, everything will be in 4K with Dolby Atmos, which Netflix does not have. Hulu, it maybe does, I don't know. But it's basically like, that's high quality. So if you have a huge TV setup, Disney Plus will be able to support it, which is awesome. The other thing, and this has been a big debate this week, is Disney Plus will be going weekly instead of just putting it all out at once. So every episode of The Mandalorian or whatever Marvel show will come out weekly. And a lot of people are already praising this idea. I do think it sounds like a better idea, and I think I said on Twitter, if Stranger Things Season 3 had come out weekly, we would still be talking about it. And I really liked Stranger Things Season 3. I thought it was a great season, actually. It was really entertaining. It was one of the best summer movies this summer or something. But I don't know if like that huge pop culture behemoth would happen without that kind of a thing. So I want to see Disney Plus actually do this, because the only shows that do the episode a week thing that are really successful, I would say, is pretty much Handmaid's Tale, which does get written about a lot, but often I've noticed like it does do episode recaps, but I noticed it doesn't like get past like its own kind of like people like viewership, basically the people who are already watching The Handmaid's Tale. So I don't know, I think it'll work initially, but let's not like give Disney Plus like the home run already. I do think it'll work, but a part of me is like, well, let's let them actually do this and then we'll talk. The other thing about that I think we'll see from this is Netflix never gives out numbers, like ever. And if you're doing weekly, you can report like ratings, and you can say, hey, 50 million people watch The Mandalorian, maybe. I don't know how many it'll be, but you know what I mean? Like this many percentage of people watch The Mandalorian. You could actually release like your own sort of ratings. Now the problem with that will be that Disney Plus will just release them, not a different body of work. But we'll see. I question a lot of what's going on there. I think there's some fishiness about it, but I'm curious how that's actually going to work when it actually happens. But it would make it easier for me, like if I wanted to do a episode recap of The Mandalorian on this show, or on like a review or of What If or something, I could do it much easier. But Stranger Things or the Netflix stuff like Mystery Science Theater, like I couldn't catch up. I'm still reviewing episodes. So I think like there is pluses to it, and I think it will happen. I think it will happen and work for them, but I still like, let's see it actually happen. Let's see how people actually take it in before we go, hey. All right, so let's move on to another kind of streaming thing. Okay, so someone asked me about the Steven Universe movie. I don't have anything. So the thing with reviewing Steven Universe, and it's the same thing with OKKO, is since I kind of lived with both Ian and Rebecca at a certain point, and I've worked on Knockforce with them and stuff like that, I feel like if I was overly critical, people would be like, oh, he has a grudge. If I'm overly praising, they're like, oh, he's friends with them, or he knew them, or so forth. So there's really no way about it. I also don't know enough. I like Steven Universe, and I fell off not because of a criticism or something, just because I think they were having an episode break when Sophie was born, and then I never caught up. So I just like don't really know what's going on, and I just OK KO I'm fairly caught up with, but I don't think I'd really do a review. I think that'd be weird, to be honest with you, because oftentimes when I watch those shows, I go, oh, I remember when they watched that show, or I remember how they love that. So that's kind of, I just sort of, I'm not like against it or anything like that. There's enough reviews of that anyway. I just kind of like leave that to everyone else. It's just sort of a different experience for me. So anyway, but I probably will catch up on Steven Universe eventually. I have nothing, I don't think I'd ever put out a review of it. I feel like that'd be weird. You know what I mean? Maybe you do. I don't know. All right. So The Irishman, which is Martin Scorsese's new feature, will be released in theaters on November 1st, and then will come to Netflix on November 27th, right in time for Thanksgiving, which Netflix wanted. Now the thing with that is Netflix was trying to get AMC and Regal and Cinemark and all these big chains to actually play The Irishman in theaters and disrupt the release window, which they're so clinging on to. There's been a lot of talk of this, like Martin Scorsese should be shown in theaters, and guess what? I am going to see The Irishman in theaters early, most likely. But I think the problem is it's a 3.5-hour movie, and it's honestly probably not going to be that big of a blockbuster. However, the film that a lot of people are predicting, and I also agree with, that will probably change that is the Michael Bay movie with Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot and The Rock in it and all that stuff. That will make the theaters go, okay, well, we do like money, so we'll break the release window. But I think for prestige stuff, they're like, for the prestige stuff, they're kind of like not really into it, clearly, because they wouldn't let Roma do that. But they did try to kind of make a compromise. I think maybe they could have tried to, I think they probably could have tried to, I don't know, AMC or Regal could have tried to get that to work for them in a way, but they're being stubborn, and everyone needs to kind of like meet each other halfway, but they're not. I don't have a problem with the 210-minute runtime with The Irishman, which we don't really know for sure because the movie's like, the premiere hasn't happened yet, and Martin Scorsese will still do that. Six Underground, yes, that is the movie, the Ryan Reynolds thing. But it's 210 minutes long. To me, that's a Martin Scorsese film. A lot of people are like, Netflix told him to cut it down, but he refused. And I'm like, is there press from this? It just seems like everyone's like, they asked him like the Weinsteins, but he wouldn't do it. And I'm like, did they? Like, no one, there's no like confirmed source. It's just like people going like, haha, he's Scorsese. I feel like Netflix was just sort of like, hey, you're Martin Scorsese. If we let you just do what you want, maybe we'll get an Oscar for it, and then we'll have that relationship. So yeah. I just don't, I don't know. I don't understand that. You did miss the Joker discussion. It's at the beginning. Just go back to the beginning. If you missed that, I did that first. All right. So I wanted to talk about, and I mentioned this, and I mentioned how I would tweet about this. So you have water too. Is Labor Day kind of re-releases or Labor Day movies. And traditionally, what studios do on Labor Day, because like nothing comes out, or just like kind of dumping ground garbage or whatever, in at least wide, it's barely wide, but you know what I mean. They re-release some of the summer hits and put them in 400, 500 theaters. So if you missed a certain movie from the summer, you can catch up, or if you wanted to see it again. The only one who's doing the traditional release of that, to my understanding, is Toy Story 4. Which I saw people on Twitter were commenting that it had gotten more ads and so forth. And they usually do that because just to help out the theaters, and like if you wanted to catch up on that stuff, you can. However, this time we're going to change. This time they're going to change that up with the Spider-Man Far From Home thing, with the extended kind of scene or whatever. They were doing that. That's kind of taking all the screens that the other studios would do, but there weren't like that many crazy hits this summer, and a lot of that stuff's already on Blu-ray. So I don't think anything but Disney could have done that anyway. And much of the July stuff, it's too late of a release to really do that traditionally, and Endgame's already on Blu-ray, so they're not going to do that. But the bigger one is the Midsummer Director's Cut, which is pretty, I think is like 170 minutes or something. It's only in certain theaters. So if you want to see the Midsummer Director's Cut, which apparently won't be on the first Blu-ray release, everyone keeps commenting. I feel like they're going to make a special one. Oh, thank you, Carter Wright. That's very nice of you. I think they're going to make a special edition of it later or something. But if you want to see the Director's Cut, which I think has 20, 30 more minutes or something, you should go out and see that. So those are the special Labor Day releases. I do like to talk about that because that's something the industry doesn't highlight enough, but it feels like Far From Home kind of like took advantage of basically like, you guys are just going to give the same crap more theaters. Let's do an Endgame, although they're doing better than an Endgame re-release because it's like a finished scene, that scene with in the restaurant, which I would like to see, but to me it's like, those are for people like, did you want to see Far From Home in theaters again? Okay, well, here you go, here's an extra scene. So you were already going to go, but here's an extra incentive, basically. That's what I don't think too many people are like, I have to see this extra scene. I think it's for fans, basically. I have not heard about this Little Nightmares thing. That sounds really cool, though. All right, so I want to talk about Raya and the Dragon. Now, I know a lot of people are giving this more press, but it deserves a certain amount of attention. It is about a kind of an alternate kind of timeline where the Earth is kind of like different and is separated into various lands, and it's mythical. And Raya is looking for the last dragon, who's voiced by Awkwafina. It sounds really cool. It's an original animated film, and 2020 is going to have 2 original Pixar films and an original Disney film. We're not going to have any of that stupid sequel animation bullshit that we've had recently, and I'm actually really excited for it. Apparently the footage they showed was very like hyper realistic. People were talking about comparing it to the new Lion King, which in a positive way, I guess, and commenting how realistic the rain looked, and a lot of people who saw the footage and were at that presentation were very hyped from it when they were later on podcasts and doing reports from Disney Plus and saying like, hey, this was a certain special, something I'd like to give a little bit more attention. So I wanted to bring that up actually, because it sounds really cool. And Roundtable did a video. My boy Shane, I love Shane, he's awesome. He did one also, which I think is really Shane's a good kid. Anyway, and also Soul. I covered pretty much all of Soul. I just feel like I didn't cover Maya very well, so that's why I did that. Okay, so the WandaVision picture kind of shows that WandaVision is going to be this kind of weird sitcom-y sort of thing that we expected it to be. Okay, sorry. Having all sorts of weird things today. Sorry. I'm just getting some ready for later, and it's being a little weird. But while I'm doing that, okay. So the WandaVision thing sounds like the most experimental of the Disney Plus shows, of the Marvel Disney Plus shows. Did you read the Joker script? Hold on. No, I am not that cool to review the Joker script. I wish I could review the Joker script. And I see a couple, I've seen a couple of questions about Dark Crystal. I haven't watched the show. It's harder for me to watch a lot of shows like that, especially an hour long. It's just with all the other stuff I'm working on. So, but I might give my reactions next week. I haven't gotten a chance because like last night I edited my Dark Crystal review, and tonight I'm doing this. So that's kind of my excuse for that. Okay, so let's go into. I wanted to talk about this. I don't talk about casting a lot, but this kind of like sparked my interest because I have a lot of questions about this kind of thing. And I didn't know the Joker. I'd heard the Joker script got leaked from a couple people, but I haven't read it. So anyway, okay. Sorry about that. Just getting all sorts of technical stuff. This is a learning process, and I am learning, and you are all very nice. Anyway, thank you. Is it Nigi Kichu? Is that how you pronounce it? Please tell me. I'm not good at words, so. All right. Anyway, so Tommy Doyle, who is in the original Halloween, they were casting that this week, and originally apparently they went out to Paul Rudd, who's in Halloween 6, and that makes sense. But this will be for Halloween Kills, not whatever the second one is, because they're making 2 and 3. and he couldn't do it because he's making Ghostbusters, and so it went to Anthony Michael Hall. Now I get getting Paul Rudd because, like, you know, he's Paul Rudd, and like I think that'd been a cool thing, and he apparently was kind of tickled by it and everything like that. But I think I'm the one thing I'm curious about is why have they not reached out to the original actor who played Tommy Doyle from the 1978 film, Brian Andrews? I think Brian Andrews, you know, he is still acting. He's still doing some small stuff. I'm sure he could like use the work and use the attention. So I'm a little confused about that, and I just don't get why in all these articles they say he did play the original one. I'm not saying like maybe it's too much of a lead role and that's why they went out for someone like Paul Rudd, but I just don't really understand why he wasn't asked. Also, it's Nigi Kitsu. Okay, sorry. But also apparently the girl who played Lindsay is a Real Housewife or something. I was like, that is weird. I didn't know that at all. Like, that caught me by surprise. And she's in it. Apparently she's in one of the new ones, but which also goes like someone called Brian Andrews. Like, I want to know, like, why was he not asked to be in this? Like, was he asked, could you just give him a cameo or throw him like some money or something? Because I feel like he deserves it. He was in the original. I'm sure he just done horror. I'm sure he does conventions and crap. Like, he's going to get asked that for like the rest of his life. So like, please, like, give that guy a cameo. That's all I'm saying. I don't know how good he is or anything like that. Maybe he's not. Maybe the studio's like, you have to have a lead, so that's why they cast Anthony Michael Hall. Yeah, so this would be the third person to play Tommy Doyle in the new Halloween movie. Sorry, I just wanted to rant about that because that was bugging me, frankly. Wow, there's not a lot of stuff this week. Sorry. Michael Bay's movie is called Black 5 after Underground 6. That's confusing. Apparently he's also developing a video game. This might be attached to that. No one's sure, and no one knows very much of anything. Cool. Anyway, this was going to be the part I was going to talk about Michael Bay's other movie, but I already did that, so whatever. All right, so this is kind of a cool thing for TVs. If you know the motion smoothing nonsense and everything that's been going on with that, everyone hates motion smoothing on TV. If you ever want motion smoothing off from your TV, invite me to your house and I'll do it while you go to the bathroom. But, because I do that shit. I don't care. Motion smoothing is a menace to society, frankly. And my wife says it's rude to do that. But I don't care because it's rude to have it for movies. But anyway, lots of filmmakers, Jordan Peele, Ryan Coogler, Christopher Nolan, Martin Scorsese, any director who you've ever liked in your entire life hates motion smoothing and has been trying to get manufacturers to take it away. So they've invented a thing called filmmaker mode. It's on IVS TVs. I think they're probably going to put this on other ones. I'm very curious to actually see this mode. They're like, it's supposed to capture what the filmmaker really wanted, but so many films have different things. Like, how could that universally work? Like, I mean, motion smoothing had a purpose, by the way. It's so in sports, like my dad's TV showed me actually how it works. It's just not have ball blur when a ball is being thrown in a sports thing or whatever. So there is a purpose for it, but the problem is it's not for everything. And so much like I don't think filmmaker mode would look very good for sports. So, you know, those modes kind of generally suck. Like I like not to be like old man Jim or something, but I liked it when I could just turn on the damn TV and just watch whatever, and it was chill. And now it's like all this like weirdness, nonsense kind of crap, and I like totally hate all that. I kind of don't like it whatsoever. All right, so the Steven Soderbergh movie, The Laundromat. I'm a big Steven Soderbergh fan. I know most of you guys like probably aren't as big into it, but I love him so much. And the Laundromat trailer dropped. It's going to be on Netflix, I think in September. I am definitely going to watch and review it. His last movie, High Flying Bird, is on Netflix right now. It is extremely dry, and if you're a major film nerd, check it out. He shot it on an iPhone. If you ever wondered what it would be like if a major filmmaker made a film on an iPhone, check it out. Check that out. It's not as good as Tangerine in terms of cinematography, but sorry, Red Bull burps. I think it's actually a really good movie. It's more about ideas and talking and stuff like that. But I really like it. It's one of my favorite movies of the year. Okay, so I did so. Oh, we're down to like, man, there was really not as much news this week. So I did see the Tenant trailer. That's the new Christopher Nolan thing. The only reason that's special is because it's not been released online, and it's only playing before Hobbs and Shaw, where all Chris Nolan fans go, I guess. And so when I saw Hobbs and Shaw, I realized I'd seen it, and then there was that crazy news dump last week, and then after that I go, oh, I should have talked about that. So I did see the Tenant trailer. It looks really good. Um, uh, I forget his name, but Denzel Washington's kid is in it. He looks really good in it. I know the kid from Yesterday was recently cast, but it looks like more of an intense thing like Dunkirk or Memento. It's the kind of Christopher Nolan I personally like. I like it when it's an intense kind of big thrill kind of movie. It looks to me like that. You know, it was really short. You don't get much of the vibe. You just get kind of the feeling that this is sort of going to be like Dunkirkian, I guess. Do I have an opinion on the newest DreamWorks movie? I guess that's Abominable. I'm going to see it. I don't think it looks incredibly good, but I think I don't know, it could. So thank you for asking that, Justin. Anyway, there was a Joel Schumacher interview on Vulture. It was pretty funny because he sort of doesn't give a shit, but he doesn't reveal as much as everyone acted like he did. So sort of whatever to that. There's a lot of like Blockbuster wasn't so great articles and stuff. I don't know what spurred that on, but yeah, Blockbuster didn't have a lot of good things about it, so that's not too surprising. All right, so there's a new movie from the guy who did Happy Death Day. It's basically a Freaky Friday thing, but if you were going to ask me, it sounds like the hot chick, basically. But it's like a killer is going after a young girl, and suddenly they switch bodies, and they have to find a way to switch back within 24 hours, or it's permanent. And Vince Vaughn is the old guy, and the girl who was in Detective Pikachu, and what is her name? I didn't write it down. Damn. No, it is Catherine Newton. Catherine Newton, who was in Big Little Lies and was in Detective Pikachu. She is the girl in it. Vince Vaughn is the guy. I think this is directed by Christopher Landon, who did Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day 2. I actually have shot a review of Happy Death Day 2. I've never edited it, and I need to. But I liked both Happy Death Day movies. They're really fun kind of conceptual horror movies, and Blumhouse is really good at that. It sounds like a good movie for Vince Vaughn, who's kind of not been used in a while. I'm not a huge Vince Vaughn fan, but I know Christopher Landon, and knowing him with Vince Vaughn sounds really appealing to me. It sounds like a fun movie. I don't understand why he didn't use the girl, the actress from Happy Death Day instead of Catherine Newton, but maybe he wanted someone younger. She was busy. I don't know. She was really great in those movies, so I kind of feel like I could just see her being conceptual horror movies. Maybe she was like, I can't do this my whole life. Concept horror movies, that can't be everything, because she is more promising. But that sounds like a cool movie, so watch out for that. That came out recently. The It director Andy Muschietti said that there's enough material for an It Chapter 3. He's just saying that. I don't think there is going to be one, but like he keeps saying that places. He also confirmed his next project is The Flash. We'll see about that, buddy. But he keeps saying that, so I think it is true. And since Warner Brothers and all them probably have a lot of money riding on him, I feel like if he's probably talking about it in the press, so it's like, can this please happen? So the Flash movie might actually happen. Everyone from like Robert Zemeckis was really considering it at one point, like all these different directors, but it seems like Andy Muschietti might take it all the way home and actually make a Flash movie, which is weird because there's like a Flash TV show, right? Like I find that really strange. So the next thing, there's going to be a Ghostbusters re-release, because of course there is, because like every 2 years there's a Ghostbusters re-release that says alternate takes and never release footage. So if you've ever not seen Ghostbusters on the big screen, which seems hard to do at this point, the original Ghostbusters, not the reboot, then do it. Go see that re-release, basically. Richard Linklater has announced a new project, Merrily We Go Along? Merrily something? Anyway, he's doing a musical, is going to be shot in reverse, but he's going to shoot it over 20 years, similar to Boyhood. A lot of people were like, he didn't really mean 20 years, he means it takes place over 20 years. But no, if you read the Hollywood Reporter thing, he's like, the quote's basically like, I am going to do this in 20 years. So he'll be 79. Everyone's joking that the Earth won't last that long. I don't think that's a joke. And none of us will be around. I do actually remember when Boyhood was announced, and I was like, oh, I'm excited for that. I hope I eventually get to see that and it actually gets finished. So I think if he lives in ever, I mean, like, there's so many, with 20 years, that's like really ambitious. Like, someone could like die, including Richard Linklater. So I hope this actually happens, but it sounds really ambitious, and supposedly the beginning of the movie will be the thing he shoots in 2039 or something, and the end of the movie he's shooting now. So it sounds like a cool thing. Everyone shits on Boyhood. I enjoy Boyhood, and I don't think it's the greatest movie of the decade or something. If you really have a problem with Boyhood and think it's a gimmick or something, see the Up series. The Up series is one of the greatest films of all time. It's amazing. It's really great. It follows these protagonists in England every 7 years, so there's 7 up, 14 up, so forth, and they come and revisit them and shows you kind of the flow and the ups and downs of life. It is really amazing. Every time one comes out, my wife and I definitely see it. I should definitely do a review of, like, I don't know if all of them or every single one, because the film has changed, the people have changed. It's a great series. Other people have tried to do it, but Michael Apted, that's like one of the most crowning achievements in documentary films. See the Up series. If you're going to talk shit about Boyhood, you have to see the Up series. That's Jim's rule, I think. Have you ever heard about the movie Polaroid and, like, it didn't... Oh, someone at Next Animation asked, what do you think will come out first, New Mutants or The Flash? I think New Mutants will come out first since The Flash hasn't shot yet, and either Disney will just throw that on Hulu or whatever. Oh, actually, before I get to the Polaroid thing, another Disney Plus thing I forgot to put in my notes. Disney Plus formally announced, basically, through kind of a reporter, that they will be basically have no R-rated content on Disney Plus, and that will go straight to Hulu, much like what they did with Touchstone Pictures or Hollywood Pictures in the 90s. That's kind of expected. Everyone thought they were going to do that, and they are. So cool. Anyway, so Polaroid. Polaroid was supposed to be released by the Weinsteins. It's basically about a haunted Polaroid camera, and if it takes your Polaroid, you die eventually, like all of us. But it was supposed to come out. I remember seeing press for it. They even did press campaigns because they thought it was going to come out. But it's been this legal wrangling. Netflix tried to get it, and they haven't gotten it. So it's basically like in this legal limbo. So if you ever wondered what happened to that movie, I don't know if we'll ever see it. It's not as cool as New Mutants, so no one's talking about it. But basically that's the deal. I wanted to talk about 2 animated films that Netflix is releasing. Well, actually, okay. Let me talk about one more Disney Plus thing, and then we'll get to that. One Disney Plus thing is Timmy Failure. The only thing that's notable about this is that it's directed by Tom McCarthy, who directed Spotlight and is a pretty well-known big director. And it's kind of weird that Timmy Failure like totally went under the radar during the Disney Plus coverage, directed by a major person. So I just wanted to bring that up. I'm not a big Tom McCarthy fan, but it was kind of like, oh, why didn't I notice that on the list of Disney Plus stuff? And I was kind of like, what's Timmy Failure? I don't even know. So the following Netflix things have the release dates on theaters and in Netflix. I'll talk about 2 animated films and then a Noah Baumbach movie. And then we'll get into the best movies this summer. And then we'll get into Patreon questions. And then we'll get into questions. All that. Okay. So, sorry. I'm just happy I'm streaming. That was really stressful before. Thank you guys for being so cool. All right. The Disney releases for animated stuff. I Lost My Body is a big animated movie. It's been around at the festivals. It's going to be the big movie this year from Netflix. It's their push for animated feature. They've been doing some interesting stuff with animation that I don't think, with features that we haven't been paying enough attention to. But it's going to come to theaters on November 15th. It's going to be on Netflix very soon after, around the time The Irishman comes out on November 29th. That's one to look out for. That's going to be the talk of everything. One of the cooler, hipper, indie animated films. And what I've seen from it, it looks really cool. There's another one called Klaus, which is like about a postman in Sweden or something. I don't know. It comes out in theaters on November 8th. Sorry. And it comes to Netflix on December 6th. Maybe I'll see it. I you know what's funny? I was realizing I hadn't seen anything from it. It just sounded nice, and it was announced with everything. Marriage Story, which is the new Noah Baumbach thing. There's a lot of buzz about that. Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver. Adam Driver's going to have a crazy year. He's got that Amazon Prime thing. He's got Marriage Stories. I think he's got a Star Wars, whatever. It's going to be a big year for him. And Scarlett Johansson's in it, and she's made it around her divorce and talk about that in the press stuff. But that is going to come to theaters on November 6th, and then going to come to Netflix a month later. So if you want to catch up on Oscar things, it sounds like you could just wait for streaming if your areas don't have that. And clearly, if you don't have any independent theaters near you, which a lot of you probably do, I'm not judging, but I'm just saying. Yeah. Wait, I didn't know. So someone in the Polzizik Will. I know he's Will. I'm sorry. I don't know how to say your last name. I apologize. I don't know how to say anything. The dude who directed Extremely Loud, Incredibly Close is doing the Obi-Wan show. You just ruined the Obi-Wan show for me. That's not cool, man. Like, why'd you have to tell me that truth like that? All right, so I wanted to talk about the best movies of the summer, and then we'll get into questions. Normally I do like a clip thing, but I kind of like, I'm focusing on other stuff, so I just thought I'd talk about it here. There's a lot of kind of promising stuff this summer. I feel like this summer kind of was swallowed up by Endgame, but very much so. But there were some good stuff, and I will say I think animation on Netflix and Infinity Train just destroyed the summer for me in terms of like that was some of the best stuff. Like I think Infinity Train, I guess I can't say it was a movie, but if it was a movie, it would be my number 2 of the summer. I really love that limited series. I thought it was really great. I want to make a theory video. I've never made a theory video about a particular thing in it. And I just am obsessed with it. I think it's one of the best sci-fi things made in a long time. I haven't seen Fast Color, which I know, but Fast Color doesn't count as a summer thing. I think it's before the summer a little bit. But I haven't seen Booksmart. I haven't seen Wild Rose. I haven't seen a bunch of stuff. This is just what I have seen. But I just thought that's why I'm kind of doing this just in movie crap, because I wanted to do something on it. But Infinity Train is really, really one of the great kind of sci-fi stories of this age. Same with, I thought Invader Zim was like the most pure Invader Zim movie they could ever be. I thought Rocco was a great story. Like I love that story. I watched it again, and I was just thinking like how much I love that story in that special. I thought was so beautiful and so great. I have complained. Sure, I wanted more Rocco of the character, and just I know other people said the show didn't focus entirely on Rocco. I beg to differ, but I really like that special a lot. So I think Rocco and Zim do count as movies. But let me bring up movies that I did really like. I will say I'm going to count all the parts in John Wick 3 that are in New York at the beginning. I thought was one of the best movies of the summer as well. I know that's lame, but seriously, that was really good. I'll just bring up a few of them. This is very loose. But I thought Midsummer was, it was a little more traditional horror than I expected from Ari Aster, but I thought he did an amazing job. It's a great art house, kind of more horror-y, and sure, I knew kind of the rhythm of it, but I really enjoyed it, and I keep thinking about it, and when I think of it referenced, I remember it so fluidly, and I just love how much that kind of goes into kind of those kind of tales, and like the idea of loss and the idea of a bad relationship and hanging on, everything like that. It said like so much through that kind of genre format, and I thought it was just amazing for it. The other one would be Toy Story 4. Really surprised me, and I think it holds a special place in my heart just because it's a movie I saw with Sophie, and we saw it after we moved into this place because we moved this summer, and it really, I didn't expect to laugh. I didn't expect to have such a great time with like everyone helped me move and my daughter, and I think a lot of that movie is wrapped up into that. But I saw it again with Sophie because she was obsessed with Toy Story that month, and it just swept me up. It was a great theater experience. It's one of the great family movies. I think it is the great family movie of the summer, frankly. And it was just so much fun. It was so funny, and I love the idea of a franchise movie in 2019 saying it is okay to retire, it is okay to give it up. When all these films feel never-ending and going on forever, Toy Story 4 kind of says like, no, he's really done. Maybe he won't be, but I like the kind of sentiment of there is a time to give that up, especially from a baby boomer icon, which is a whole other thing. The other film, before I get to what I thought was the best movie of the summer, is The Farewell. I put out the review of that this week, but I liked how modest that film was, how well it told its story, what it did with the idea of loss and how loss is with your family, and I just loved what it was doing with that. I keep thinking about how well it was, and Awkwafina gave a great performance. I agree with you, William Ellman. I needed to see Nightingale. I plan to see that on demand or something. Anyway, it's hard to keep up. That's why I'm doing this on here, so I can just, summer's over and we all need to move on with our lives, and then I can put out more reviews and less clippy things, and I'll do a top 10 of the year. But I thought, and this, the lamest thing to put is the number one movie of the summer, but I just think this summer was Endgame. You can't talk about this summer without having Endgame, and it really was a great movie. Maybe I think some other stuff was like better made, or I think about more, but to me it's like if we're talking about the summer of 2019, then you're talking about Endgame. It was captured the imagination. It was fun. I almost cried. All that stuff. I've only seen it once, but it just enraptured me in that time. It was one of the big theater experiences of the year. I know it's the big corporate movie. I know it's the highest grossing film of the year. I know that's not cool, but it was the best movie of the summer. At the very least, I don't know if it would make my top 10 or anything like that. I don't know if any of these movies, maybe none of them will, but I know that Endgame was a moment that will probably never get back. It was a special film. I thought everything that Infinity War didn't fully do, I think everything that Infinity War didn't fully do, because that's more of a thrill ride. There's more of a like action. This got all the emotion and the heart. And everyone I know who doesn't like comic book movies, who saw it, loved it. It just Tony Stark. I mean, Robert Downey Jr.'s performance was great. Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, all the Chris's. It fully was everything I wanted from a big Marvel kind of finale. We'll see if it lives up to everything after that. But to me, if like this is the end, that's a beautiful way to end it. And I think it was a beautiful way that like no one could top, because it was almost like we all were kind of spent after that, kind of culturally. It was a hard thing to follow up. And also I think a lot of the stuff after that, I wasn't as into Detective Pikachu as I know a lot of you guys were, but anyway, that was what I thought were the best movies of the summer of 2019. So let's get to, I have 2 Patreon questions. Okay, so William Ellman, who's in the chat, I hope you don't mind me mentioning you right here, said, with the failure of Loot Crate, do you think there's maybe a pop culture fatigue coming on in America, or was Loot Crate just an idea that had not an idea that had lasting power? And then he also asked me, is there an Ingmar Bergman film that you find underappreciated? I feel The Hour of the Wolf is one, in my opinion. I actually do really like Fanny and Alexander a lot, and I think the longer cut should be appreciated more, and I love that one. I need to watch more Bergman. I've seen a lot more than most people probably think I have, but I would probably say the TV cut of Fanny and Alexander, as lame as that is. Loot Crate, the problem with Loot Crate is that's a lot of money. Red Bull, and a fun fact, there's only one physical copy of the original Godzilla Scream. Didn't know that. That's interesting, and thank you for that. I will drink another Red Bull. Thank you. That is very nice of you. I didn't know that. You feel like they should make another copy of that. Holy crap. Sorry. Let me, but I feel like the problem with Loot Crate specifically is that, like, that's a lot of money to spend on all that stuff, and you have to like so much of pop culture all the time to do that. I mean, like, it's cool to get a Ghostbuster shirt or a Star Wars shirt and all that merch, but like if you don't necessarily love every single nerdy thing, like, would you sign up for that? Like, that, I never did it. Like, I knew at conventions people would buy those boxes, and I sort of got that, but it just, like, to me it never seemed sustainable, because you'd have to invest so much and you'd have to want all that stuff all the time. All right, so my second one is from Sinram. This is also, if you are a patron, if you pledge to my Patreon and you pledge $5 or more, I will always read your question on. I usually try to read everyone's, but these specifically get their own kind of section as sort of a Patreon reward. It's a great way to support the show, me and the show, as well as Super Chat, or just liking and subscribing, depending on your financial situation. Everything is appreciated. And thank you all very much for watching even tonight. That's very awesome of you. Sinram, who's a YouTube channel you should really check out. He's in all of my descriptions because obviously he's a patron. Asked me recently the magazine Entertainment Weekly changed its publishing schedule to monthly. Have you ever been a reader of the mag? If so, how do you feel about it not only being published 12 times a year? And he said, I am happy about it personally. I love the seasonal movie and TV preview issues that look ahead at 4 months of upcoming releases. Don't even know if they're going to keep doing that. So I think the thing is with Entertainment Weekly is I used to love those summer movie previews. I used to pour through them as well, but I think the problem is one, movie press has changed so much. I know they were trying to do the exclusive first look things in Entertainment Weekly to kind of keep this magazine on and buzzing, but no one was like buying the issue. It was just like sourced in like slash film and stuff like that. So I don't think it like could find a way to evolve, but I did miss those seasonal preview things, and I did used to pour over them. That's how I found about the Iron Giant. That's how I found out about a lot of movies that I went to see and loved. But nowadays I find out about those through other websites. However, I like those a lot more than like just scrolling through Box Office Mojo release date schedule. So I kind of wish there was like a happy medium between the two, and I do miss those issues, and I think that that is sad. So I guess let me do questions. I'll bring up Twitter if you want to do that. You can just do them in the chat. I'm pretty okay with trying to get everything. So let's go from below the super chat thing. Nathaniel Fogle asked, do you ever play any video games? Not really. I never have time. I do appreciate I do like video games. I have no problem with them. I know a lot of film people do. I do not. I just am not very good at them. I have a Sonic like kind of walking man thing on my phone I play sometimes, but that's kind of like about it. I just don't have, it's like I'm too obsessed with movies to take on another thing like that. Next Animation asks, you're gonna watch the Steven Universe, right? Wait, what? I thought I already talked about that. You're gonna watch the Steven Universe movie. What's it like to see Ian making a film? I don't think Ian really made that film. Did he announce another one? I don't. Anyway, I talked about that earlier in the show. I'm not going to review it. I'll probably see it. Is that what you asked? I'm sorry. I might be answering that wrong. Yes, I'm going to watch it at some point. I don't know if I'll watch it right away just because I'm not up to date on Steven Universe, but I think it'll be cool. Thoughts on Pro Jared's new video? I caught up on, Philip DeFranco caught me up on the whole situation. To me, it's like Pro Jared needs to like get past it, but I like literally don't know who he is, except for like people sent me the clip from Pizza Party, and I was like, oh shit, am I getting canceled because I said the wrong thing about Pro Jared, because I barely understand who he is. And like I just, he has no attachment to me other than I made that dumb joke, and then people were like, oh, you made that dumb joke and now he's a thing. That was it. That's all of it. Sorry. Any thoughts on the Cheetos biopic? Also, what is the best movie directed by an actor/actress? Citizen Kane. So, no, sorry. I don't know. Sorry, that was stupid. Probably a Chaplin movie, I would say. Maybe like City Lights. I think the Cheetos movie sounds cool. I don't know Eva Longoria's stuff as a director, so I can't really get into that. So yeah, I don't know, but it sounds like a promising thing if you like Joy or something like that. Bruce Parker asks, any thought? No, I just answered that. That was stupid. Okay. Is it possible that Tarantino would do an animated feature? Technically, Kill Bill had animation in it, and he directed that movie, so I could see him doing it. I don't know if he ever will, but it would be cool if he did. Do you think... Captain Cosmic asks, hey Jim, do you think Disney will add or produce any original anime for their streaming service? Probably not, because of the R-rated thing, I'd imagine. But Hulu has done anime before, so I think they might keep doing that because cult following stuff does really well on streaming. Okay, Nigi Kitsu, I think. So, I'm so sorry. It's been a long night. When is the series bingeable, and when is it should be watched? Okay. When is the series bingeable, and when should it be spaced out? And do you think Netflix should succumb more if they start doing weekly in the United States? I think it depends on the series. Like I said, like covering a series for me, it helps out a lot better if it's weekly, because like Mystery Science Theater is a show I review all the episodes of, and I did get behind on that. But if there's more an incentive, a reminder every week, like, oh, it's Thursday, but like if you're getting them all one, you're only getting one reminder. I feel like Netflix should maybe do that for some stuff. I don't know if they'll ever do it for all stuff. I just feel like that's like not something that they really want to do, but we'll see. We'll see. Have you thought about making audio commentary tracks? I do have commentary tracks, I guess, on Knock Force and Cleves Threes and stuff on my as Patreon exclusives. I haven't done it as a movie. I don't know if I do it for a full movie. I'd like doing it with Pizza Party and other people, but we'll see if that happens. I don't know. I'm not against it. I don't know. I don't know which movie. I'm sure Monster Trucks and stuff, but that I want to do on Pizza Party. So I maybe one day. I know a lot of people do that, but I would really like to like research the movie a lot, and then I'd probably just want to make a review, and then I don't know. It's something to think about. I know Ian's working on the. I think he is. Isn't he busy with OKKO? I don't know. A lot of people worked on that, but I mean, I'll probably. I plan on watching it. I don't know. Sorry. I have. Oh, cool. I didn't see that tweet. That's cool. Thank you. Retweet. Okay. Henry Selick's. Oh, how Henry Selick's Monkey Bone bombed. I would like to do Monkey Bone at some point. I don't know if I'll ever do a bombed on that, but it's always a possibility. You know. We'll see. Okay, here I have a question here. Do you feel with J.A. Boyena taking the reins of the Amazon Prime Lord of the Rings show, considering we never got Guillermo del Toro's adaptation of The Hobbit? I'm curious about that Lord of the Rings thing. He's the only thing that's made me interested in that. But yeah, maybe that would be closer to what we're getting, a more interesting thing with that. I don't know. We'll see. I really am cynical about that Lord of the Rings series. I know Amazon really wants their own Game of Thrones, but I don't know if that'll happen. Would you mind if I DM'd you on Twitter with that trailer? Yes, I don't think I'll get to watch it. I could just DM you back my reaction, if that's cool, Cornbread. Okay, what's the worst cinema experience you've ever had? I went to a Thursday night screening of Detective Pikachu and one of my contacts fell out at the beginning. That sucks. I try to think the best of it, and usually I get up if someone's bad, but when I saw South Park bigger, longer, and uncut, the projector kept like being unframed, so you'd see like half of one image and one frame and then the other. It was really weird, and that was probably one of the worst movies, but the movie was so good I got past it. Alright, so tightly wound up about getting loose, fell down and just laid there, got up and walked away, slipped into water, and now I'm drowning. Guess I'm unlucky. So what's the news with Joanna Man? I think there will be a review of Joanna Man soon. I wanted it to be the last review on my last place, but that was too crazy. So there will be I'm trying to do it at the end of this year. I'm sorry. What movies are you excited to show your daughter when she's older? Spirited Away, Wizard of Oz are the two big ones for me currently. Marley, hey Marley, thank you for showing up. That's very nice of you. Think DreamWorks is ever going to do anything interesting with the Harvey properties that they know own, like Hot Stuff and Casper? I could see Casper, and I could see them doing something on Netflix, but I don't think like a Casper movie would actually work. I think that would be perfect for them actually in their sensibilities, but also think that DreamWorks is now owned by Universal and run by Illumination, so shiver down my spine about that one. But I think Casper, and I think they probably will. I would assume an animated thing on Netflix, most likely. What is your most awkward movie experience? I saw Chasing Amy with my parents when I was 14. Enough said. What's your favorite TV show to air this decade? For me, I'd probably say Twin Peaks: The Return and Regular Show. I'm pretty much with you on that. Regular Show is a big show for me because of the it ended like right before my daughter was born. It represents kind of that period of my life from when it started to when it ended, and I love Regular Show. I'd say Adventure Time has to be in there. I would say I guess The Sopranos is too old for that, but The Wire. The Wire is the show I absolutely love. It's one of my favorite shows ever. I'm a big that and what is it? Homicide: Life on the Street. I'm a big David Chase fan. I'm a David Chase fanboy probably. Although not David Chase. That's whatever. I like The Wire. Let's just leave it at that. If you could take the position of one person in the entertainment industry, who would it be and why? Someone who made more money, probably. I don't know. I wouldn't mind. I know everyone hates on Kathleen Kennedy, and I don't hate her. I just think she makes really obvious choices. Like she just picks the big people, and it's really boring to me. And I would love to just run Star Wars because I would like fire Benioff and Weiss and like find more interesting directors and stuff like that. I would probably run it like Feige would, to be honest with you. I would just find directors who'd be right for those properties, and probably go Catherine Bigelow and John Carpenter. What do you want to make? And that's how I'd run Star Wars. Seriously, like how did you make Solo without going to Catherine Bigelow? I would just be like, how much money do you want, and whatever weird dream project do you want after Solo? Just make Solo. That movie would have been awesome, but they didn't. And then Phil Lord and Chris. Oh my God, that was a disaster. Although I think she's a good producer. She just makes obvious choices. In terms of directors, do you think there's a type of joke that's been overdone so much to the point where it just died out? What comes to mind when pigs fly joke and then a pig starts flying? I would say like references to like Star Wars or Back to the Future to me are a little overdone. Anytime people go "What's up?" like I know that's like an old joke that people bring back a lot, but I don't think that's that funny. Okay, question. Do you think Oaxis from Nichi Kichu, I hope I'm saying that right, I'm sorry. Do you think Oaxis will still be a thing, or will Butch Hartman keep delaying it till people forget? Probably the latter. I don't think, with the streaming wars hitting, I would not want to be Oaxis. I mean, how much is the per month though? Will us as animation cartoon creators get like a discount? Because that would be cool. Okay, Spirit Away seems too scary for young children. I'm glad I didn't watch it until I was a teenager. I mean, I meant when she was older, probably. She's seen Kiki's Delivery Service, and she loves it, so, But yes, that one would be an older one. Same with, like, I'm excited to show her Nausicaa in, like, 10, 12 years. I think Nausicaa, underrated. Ghibli is not underrated, really, but Nausicaa is a little underrated. Okay, what do you think of the chicken who crosses the road? Yeah, that's one of them. Okay. You think with all the networks, mainly Disney, buying a bunch of movie. This is from Paige Howard. Sorry, buying out a bunch of movies/series properties. Is there going to be a big conflict that will affect people in the industry, and if so, how? That is an interesting question. I think what Viacom is doing. Viacom has CBS All Access, I think it's called, or Plus, or whatever. They are still selling stuff to other streaming services. What'll probably happen is everyone's going to be exclusive, and then the streaming wars will kind of have a collapse. They'll go like, oh wait, we actually made money on other streaming services. Like Disney is losing money right now until Disney Plus launches, because they're not making revenue from the licenses of giving people the rights for the streaming and stuff and making that revenue. So I think eventually they'll go, if some of these aren't successful, you'll see that break up, and that will affect people. People will lose money because of it. That's the problem with it. Zane Powers asks, what's your least favorite kind of ad you keep seeing getting on YouTube? What's that thing, like the Earn It app? Every time I see that, I always go like, am I doing that bad that like YouTube knows I need the Earn It app or something? Like, and it looks so low rent, and everyone who says it, I'm like, I don't like, just the fact that you're using this app makes you sound very financially irresponsible. It's just really, I don't know. Okay, Captain Cosmic asks, have you ever thought of starting your own podcast before? I guess this is sort of that. I have thought of starting different podcasts, but I'm sort of on the Pizza Party podcast. I would like to come back to the POS podcast occasionally this year. But I do have some ideas, but it's more of a time issue. And I like being on podcasts. It's always fun. Do you have an opinion on the Toonami Jinji to Yuzi Adult Swim promo? I don't, because I didn't get to watch that. I'm sorry. What films do you once love but now hate? Wow, I don't know. Man, Next Animation asking a lot of questions. A lot of good ones. That's a good question. I'll have to. Wow, I don't know, man. Maybe Chicago? I don't like Rob Marshall. I used to be just fine with him, so I don't know if that's love. That's more of okay with and now am done with. So, favorite sitcoms, All in the Family is a big one for me. Fresh Prince. I really like One Day at a Time. That's probably what I'm going to watch while I watch this process and hope I recorded it and all that stuff. You know, everything didn't go wrong, which it did a lot with this, so maybe it did. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll probably watch that tonight. I love that show. What are your... Okay, Alex the Menace asks, what are your most anticipated in terms of film and animation for the remainder of 2019? The I Lost My Body thing and Primal. Joker I'm curious about. Rise of Skywalker, I feel like I'm just going to see it, so I don't know if my anticipation is really there. Irishman I am very excited for. The Laundromat. I think that's everything. I'm curious about Weathering with You, but I'm not a big Your Name fan, so I don't know if that's anticipated. Captain Cosmic asks, what is your favorite YouTube Red original series? I've never watched any of that shit, so I don't. None of them. Whatever. Thoughts on Peter? Carter Wright asks, thoughts on Peter Jackson making the upcoming Beatles documentary? Sounds cool. I mean, you know, I like Beatles documentaries, so I wouldn't mind watching it, to be honest with you. Any chance of getting... Whoa. Hold on. Where are we? Okay, any chance of getting a segment of the show where Old Man Jim tells about his days in Vietnam? And again, the 50s and your days in Korea, the Vietnam War. Thank you, Zane Powers, for that. Maybe one day. I don't know. If someone wants to animate that and just have me show up. Hey Ryan Walterson. Here's a question. With Dark Crystal out right now, what's another Hanson property you'd like to see have a comeback? That's an interesting question, Ryan. Thanks for that. That is a good one. I would like the Muppets to make a comeback, but I like what Disney Plus is doing, so that's not a good answer. I liked Defunctland's thing on the Wobulus World of Dr. Seuss. I wouldn't mind that one. I think Fraggle Rock, I'm surprised HBO, I don't know the rights to all that stuff, hasn't done that with their Sesame Street stuff going on. I would like the one Henson thing that's sort of not an answer. I would like there to be a comeback to the weirder stuff on Sesame Street. I wouldn't mind maybe even Sam and Friends, even though I've seen so little of that, but that's not a real good answer either. Man. You know, Ryan, you'd think I'd be better at answering this question. You know why. I am a little at loss for... Oh, you know what? The Storyteller. I hear Neil Gaiman's working on that, and I don't know if it'll happen, but I would really like the Storyteller, and I'd actually like the Henson kids to host it, because I know they have certain different perspectives, and each of them could represent a different kind of storytelling. I think that would be really cool. Choose the Henson family, because I actually think they're really talented, and they've done a lot for the company, and that would be cool. So that is I came up with one, Ryan. You really... Ryan Walterson, who helps me with the Every Show Ever things. That was good. You really put me to the... Thank you. He's good. I like Ryan. Anyway, Nija Kichu, has anyone in the chat ever gone to the Good Burger restaurant in LA yet? I haven't. Sorry, that was more of a chat question than for me. Okay. Is Bush Hartman's Folly or the greatest Ponzi scheme of this generation of O-Access from Bruce Parker? Probably a Ponzi scheme. Bruce Parker said that's not a legit question. Would you rank best live action films from worst and best? Like in general? I don't know. I will of the year. I don't know of all time, really. My DMs aren't open? I thought it was, Cornbread. I'm sorry. I think you have to subscribe to follow me, maybe. I don't know. Sorry. I need to be better at the Twitter questions. Okay. While we're waiting for that, a reminder, Blue's Clues and You premieres on November. I didn't know that. Got a film you wish you could have the first time round that let down in life? What? Oh, got a film you wish you could have, I guess, seen the first time round later down in life. Maybe. Ah, crap. Amore? Probably Amore. Do you think that art house mouse directors will get popular? Oh, art house movie directors will get popular. Only through blockbuster stuff, unfortunately. That was from Captain Cosmic. Zane Powers asks, "What's your favorite kind of guilty pleasure? So bad it's good." Probably Master of the Universe, the live action thing. How many confirmed kills did you get in Vietnam? 45. What's your favorite fictional movie location? Probably Hill Valley, which is obvious. Maybe Tatooine. All right, we should probably wrap this up soon. So let me just do this really quick, I guess. Do you think we'll ever see a return of feature-length 2D animated films through Netflix? But I don't think in theaters as much. I think Disney will probably do it on Disney Plus, but that's the most we're getting, frankly. Okay, what are some films that are amazing but left no impact on Hollywood or were forgettable? God, there's like a lot of those, so I don't even know where to start with that. But that were amazing and left no impact on Hollywood whatsoever. God, you guys are like really making me think and stuff. That were amazing and left no impact on Hollywood. That is a tough one. Can I do some and then that were amazing? Like something that I guess should have left an impact on Hollywood. I think Moonlight should have. I think there's certain major like really great film. Like I would have thought Fury Road would get a lot of chase movies, things like that. But that left an impact that wasn't forgotten. I can't think of one that got forgotten. So that's probably my problem. Do you think Adrian Syria asked, do you think that the HK director's cut of Rigor Mortis will ever get released after Juno, Mark's next movie, Son of... I don't really know much about that, unfortunately, so I can't really say. Next Animation asks, what Ken film would you greenlight if you could have a chance? I would greenlight Gendy Tarkovsky's Popeye. I would say that one. I also watched the Animat thing on Me and My Shadow. I would love to have that actually happen. I would also... I can't think of another one. Canceled kind of movie. The Mouse Guard, man. I mean, that should happen. Review Rent 2005. Who would you want to play you if there was a Pizza Party movie? Eric Stoltz, but then I'd want him replaced, which I've said before, but I've actually always said Eric Stoltz because I'm a redhead. So, who would you want cast as Spike in a live action Cowboy Bebop from Carter Wright? I don't know. I wish they weren't doing it. I'm kind of fine with John Cho, to be honest with you. I think that's fine. And then finally, the Top of the Fourth Wall review wasn't the Pizza Party movie. No, it wasn't. And Zane Powers asked, when will you review The Blind Side? I probably should do it this year because it's the 10th anniversary. I would like to do it at some point because I hate The Blind Side. So, Month, you mispronounced my name the whole time. My name, but that's okay. I'm sorry. I need to take pronunciation lessons. All right, so that was Movie Crap this week. There's a lot of cool stuff I put out this week. The movie review vote, you have a few days to vote for that. If you have not voted for that, do not vote in this chat. Vote in the comments for that video. I had Hobson Shaw. I had The Farewell. I had kind of something for everybody this week. I was very productive. I was happy with myself. I had the movie review vote from the last time, which was A Silent Voice, and then topping it all off with a Dark Crystal, which was a review I'm really proud of. Next week, there's going to be a ton of stuff. A video that's footage I've had sitting on a hard drive for like 10 years, which is weirder, so it's obviously just going to come out on a Monday. After that, there's going to be the June 2019 video, I hope, a Every Show Ever thing that you'll find out what it is. You might be able to figure it out, but that'll happen. And then one of the 2019 movie that came out a long time ago that I shot a review for and didn't edit, and then obviously It Chapter 2. I will be back, hopefully, most likely, unless you hear otherwise, next Saturday with Movie Crap. I will be back, next Saturday, Movie Crap will be back at, I hope, 10 p.m. Hopefully I won't screw it up like this time. Thank you all for your patience. Thank you all for being so forgiving. Thank you for the super chat. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your Saturday, and I will see you next time. Bye.